might go on. Right, let's move over to our table where we're going to have to work out who's on who.
So Rotage is on PD left,
Right.
and we have Robin on Akiko Nisei on the right, which is an idea you don't see a lot of these days.
I think we've seen a fair bit more of it along with the invention of girls.
Oh yes, of course.
So that's, I mean, what are we expecting to see in this Akiko deck?
Well, so I'm vaguely familiar with the girls playstyle ID. Of course, Akiko Nisei, for those that don't know, is an ID, a shooter ID that reads when you make a successful run on R&D, play a side game. If you and the corp spend if you and the corp spend a different number of credits, then you access one additional card, I believe it is.
One additional card. However, there is a pretty funky card which came out in RWR, obviously, which works very nicely along with Akiko's ability, which will be Mary, Pretty Mary, Pretty Mary de Silva, in fact, which was spoiled on this very channel. I don't know how to spell Nisei. I'm going to put it in like that and hope that's right.
Yeah, no, that's correct. That's correct.
Something. It's like close enough to that. Yes, so you have to like. No one knows how the actual side game works. We'll just wait and see for that. But essentially, Mary will, along with Akiko, will potentially allow 2 additional accesses instead of the 1. And we're also probably expecting to see, I think the Akiko deck tends to play Niashia as another way of getting like additional access, and then tend to close out in a pretty sneaky way by installing an Iru and going in for multiple accesses via archives.
But they're all routing into R&D. Like that's where the win very much is for Akiko players.
Absolutely. So if you can just draw all the agendas into hand, Akiko often struggles a little bit. So hopefully you're not playing against CI. Also, that would mean Rotage would have a game loss for playing an illegal ID. What do we think about the PD deck? There are, oh yeah, that's that we're playing with ghosts, but hopefully now.
There we go.
There we are. We have players and everything. So
we're off. And Rotage, I don't know Rotage deck, but it being PD, we can assume a certain amount of the standard PD setup. So of course Rotage is going to be wanting to create a remote, start streaming 3-2s and 4-3s, and we see a greasy palm starting us off. To start building that remote. I see Rashida going straight in with.
I think that was a drafter
covering it. That's an interesting one because whilst because Robin could just walk in.
True.
Robin could just like Rotage would regain a greasy palm. But that would kill off the Rashida. However, of course, we have no way of knowing where that's going from there.
I also wonder if Rotage is actually paying a bit of Akiko Nisei respect here and has put the end the run on R&D,
yes,
as opposed to the remote here, because the last thing you want to be able to do is just to allow Akiko to run through, even if you're getting stuff back from a drafter, especially when we've already seen that Pretty Mary de Silva coming down. So
yep. And Coalescence, which suggests an Aesop's deck, perhaps?
I think so. I think Girls is generally an Aesop's deck. It plays Coalescence, Muse, and yeah, here we go.
Straight off the bat. Okay, we are aggroing straight into R&D. So what is Rotage?
This is potentially 2, 3. It's potentially 4 accesses here. That's a
lot of accesses.
It's a lot of accesses.
That's finality then.
Is this last click though? Because I think Akiko is safe right now. I feel like this must be last click because we had 3 installs.
Yeah, we had 3 installs and a trick shot. So It's a Hagen. Okay,
Ooh.
interesting. So what's the breaker of choice for girls?
I mean, for Robin, she's probably going to hope that she's on Propeller right now because that's going to be the best way of breaking this.
I'm seeing
If
two gone.
if she has to break it with a Cleaver, which is like often the late game solution,
That's really
then
painful.
it's going to be pretty rough. But I think I see a Propeller
Yep,
there.
we
Yep.
got propeller. So one to break, two to break the subs, and then what would that be? Three counters.
3 counts, I believe. Yeah, because it'll be Strength 5. So like you're pretty much using up your Propeller. But Hagen actually a really nasty piece of ice here, like a really good face check against particularly shapers that are on a coalescence build because you can't just allow them to trash all your stuff because that's all your ASOP's engine.
It's all my erase up box.
Okay, looks like we're going in here. We're just doing the maths on the counters.
There go those.
Fully using the trick
Yeah,
shot.
perfect value on the trick shot. Seeing it too, and then presumably they side game.
They side game here.
Oh,
Now,
I've missed side games. I've missed that. You don't see them that often.
I find side games really quite fun when they are fun. When you're doing like 4 a turn, it feels a bit much. But when they're at key intervals,
Classic 0 to 0. I mean, so quite often using Akiko Nise to try and tax the corp is correct. So making them spend the exact same amount, we see a
Off-world,
just being
early rip. That looks like maybe another drafter. Right, we're now just checking whether there should be a fourth one. I feel like there should have been a fourth one there, but maybe not.
No, they spent the same amount.
Okay.
So
Is it that way round? So
okay. So I'm gonna pull up this text with Akiko because unfortunately your intrepid hosts are not as familiar with Akiko Nise as they.
I mean, weirdly, I am. I just never remember the rules of any site.
I remember it's a weird way. Whenever you access custom ID, you and the corp secretly do a side game. Do this and do think if you and the corp spent the same number of credits, it's one initial. So maybe it should have been 4 there.
That's what I kind of feel. Like I think that the way I've always played it is the best thing for you to do is to bid 0 to force the corp to spend 1. Maybe we're like the fact that we've got so many triggers going on. There's an extra one from Akiko. There's an extra one from Trickshot. There's an extra one from Mary. Possibly the Mary was forgotten about here.
Yeah. Never has a trigger heavy game in it. Like it's got lots of things happening that all need to happen at the same time. Anyway, we've had a Rashida farm, which is obviously excellent.
No, we didn't have a Rashida fire actually. Like, while you were watching the trick-shotted into the remote, trashed the Rashida, and Rotage here couldn't res what we know is a drafter because it wasn't really going to do anything.
Of course. Well, okay, that does change things. My apologies. Sorry, looking at the text of Akiko Nise, we see another drafter in hand. We draft it heavy, and now so I think she's on the back foot a little bit here.
Definitely. I mean, that's like he also. I mean, the one good thing is that R&D is actually going to hold for the time being. We're playing a corporate hospitality here. It's a bit of a reader for.
I think it's a bit of a reader for us,
Robin.
Us as well.
That is a 4-cost 2. It's a double, and it will draw 2, gain net 2. I think it gains 6, and it will allow you to add 1 card from the archives to your hand. I think we might be getting back to Rashida here. We see Vitruvius in hand there.
Oh, okay, so it's blue level clearance with an archive memory.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, us old heads talking about an old card. Well, I say us old heads. I'm the old head talking.
Yeah, I'm the medium head. I think we did get the Rashida back there and jammed it in the remotes. I believe that is what happened. I hope that's what happened. So the one good thing here for Rotage is that obviously, whilst that propeller can get in, it's currently out of counters to do so again. So R&D is actually quite safe until Holly finds a way of either resetting that propeller or boosting its strength or installing enough other icebreakers that it reduces the strength of Hagen.
I mean, getting down in Cleaver. So Cleaver is if Cleaver hit the table right this second, Hagen would go strength 4, which means it would be three to get in. If Robin can find another breakout, then R&D is wide open with Cleaver for one. Walking in there, accessing a casual three cards if the side games come off good. So all in all, it's Rotage a bit on the back foot here, but got money. He's got a remote, and as long as he can start building up some tempo, then he's all good to go.
Seems decent. Okay. Um,
I'm loving the core hospitality. It's an interesting little smash because it's blue level clearance, and blue level clearance is a cheeky little card that did get you a lot of tempo back in the day.
it's also like interesting because obviously PD has recursion stapled to its ID itself. So like we're going like recursion on recursion here. I guess like you do have some very valuable cards, and this potentially means that Rotage can just keep chaining Rashidas into the remote and force Holly to deal with them. Sorry, Robin. I think I've called Robin Holly twice now. Do apologise, Robin. Oh, seeing a combination.
Oh, the cups are coming down. Combination, of course, being a way to avoid trashing or indeed trap something for cheap and take away some key points there. So I feel like Robin will be wanting a couple a seamless hit.
Definitely seems feels good, but also, like I said, like Akiko has a ton of R&D pressure, but sometimes struggles a little bit with HQ pressure. So I think Cobblation is a really good include here as an option to add in that.
Yeah,
that
because
HQ
it gets you
pressure.
it gets you that pressure plus a legwork on top of that. So there's a lot happening from that. Okay.
Hello, Lorraine in chat as well. Oh, we've got Havrath Thun all the way from Australia. I was gonna specify the town and then I was gonna screw it up. We are on round 1, Alex. So you're in plenty of time. Do not worry, you have not missed too much. Okay, we see the HQ respect here after the copilations come down. That makes sense.
And I see a Managam in Rotage's hand, and 2 ices on the remote. So it's like building a pretty classic PD remote here, I think.
Didn't see what the ice was that went down, so that's going to be a
Yeah.
nice little surprise for us. And I assume that was the Rashida that we saw in hand going in. It could be the Retrievers. We could be just going for the push hit.
Vitruvius is an interesting one. You don't always see that in PD these days. Usually it's you're doing trip off world luminal and then a couple of colors to help close it out.
Yeah, so I mean sometimes also midnight free. We see the midnight free builds.
Shoot the moon build.
Exactly. I guess Rotage clearly is like an absolute sicko for recursion here because we're even playing agendas which give us recursion. So recursion on recursion on recursion on
recursion all the way down.
recursion.
Yeah, no, we like that. And D-Law spying an error in hand, so that could potentially open up archives and pressure as well for additional accesses. So honestly, it's anyone's game at the minute. This could go either way. We're still very early, relatively speaking, in the game, even though the runner is up 2 points.
Absolutely. I think the one thing that Robin's really missing here, they haven't found a pawn shop yet. We've got coalescences on the board. We could flicker them for a bit of extra money, but we really want to be selling them for stacks of cash.
Yep. Oh, coming down with another Rashida. So Rotage going through their deck so quickly, and this is what you want to be doing. You want to be you want to be windmilling into the remote, just Rashidas or a score every turn and make yourself a 10-10 win. Got that tranquility down, so that's going to be even more money to keep sustaining these builds. And this might be pushing for the first score.
I would imagine so. It's whether we see. I mean, we can assume that by now he must have a seamless in hand, but there's always those PD games where you just don't draw a seamless for the life of you. So it would be interesting if we see an advancement here. I think we see other agendas in hand, maybe another off-world there, possibly.
Yeah.
There's definitely another Hagen.
but I'm not seeing any seamless.
Not seeing a seamless either, and nothing that really looks like an event. So that's going to be interesting. We might. There's a chance that Rotage just straight up scores the Vitruvius. Oh, we're going triple ice. So
Really saying to the run, no, the game is not here, and jamming something else in the remote. So I'm assuming that's the Managam and Agenda, and then hopefully, and then Rotage going to be pushing aggressively here.
The one thing that Robin probably wants to do is it's likely that she's going to hold on to that Eru. She doesn't really want to play that until firstly she's at or they're at threat free, because then you get an additional access, and you also kind of want to save that as a sneaky little trick for after Rotage has put put so much ice on all the other servers because they need to respect R&D pressure and HQ pressure and protect the remote, and all of a sudden you're going, well, I don't really care about any of those servers anymore. I'm going to go this way.
Yeah, definitely. So taking a pause here while Robin has a think. Running. Oh, okay.
I think
poking
that was HQ, yeah.
I'm doing an HQ poke.
Possibly forcing out a bit of money here. We've got access to Simulchip and SMC if we need it.
We see a drafter, which you just can't. Like, it's too much tempo, particularly with the not blue level clearance in the bin.
I mean, I had an interesting point during Crown of Servers yesterday where I had a discussion with my teammate, and we decided that the best thing to do was to let a drafter fire, and it's the most unnatural thing in the world to say, just fire the drafter. It feels really bad.
Yeah, quite often it's less threatening than it seems. Oh, okay, I
think we're getting the SMC, I would assume here. Yeah.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
A lot of money.
4, 5. Memory. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of money. Not really what you want to do, and I'm not entirely sure.
It might be on for Salem. If Robin is on for Salem here, then that's probably her cheapest way in.
Oh,
is that it's an Eka? Okay.
That's an Eka.
That is not going to be.
No, 2 different.
Robin's not got money for this. This costs 5. I know this incredibly well as a player that plays way too much Arasana. To the point that she's not even going to be able to boost at all here. Yeah. I think Rotage might be pointing this out. I think they might be doing the maths on the table. We're deciding whether we're pulling this back or whether there's other options.
I don't think you can unwind this too much, but yeah, just getting a coalescence.
That's actually quite painful because that is, I think, net neutral almost in terms of how that works out.
Got rid of both of your coalescences. Oh, that's a shame. 1 credit. It's often the way, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think if Robin was on Revolver there, I think she's good. Eka would have been fine if she'd have managed to sort of get it out with a Muse, because then that has the host ability already. But having the hard install it.
Okay, thank you for the feedback, Shannon. I will speak more eloquently into the mic.
And here, so Rotage here got back a Greasing the Palm into hand, and then has just installed a Rashida totally naked out in the open there.
Well, you might as well. They're going to have to go deal with that.
Yeah. Obviously didn't have like a
Oh, okay.
Wow. So this is wild, because that draftifier was very good for Rotage, but Robin could take this as soon as next turn by installing the Eru from hand and running R&D.
This has opened up the game. Like previously, I would say that was because of the swapping around with the SMC and all the rest of it. The potentially the runner was behind here, but that steal has put the runner in game point. Absolutely a good chance for them to surprise sneak the win off R&D through any of the multiple channels they have. And given that Rotage is still on 0 points, Rotage has a lot of ground to cover.
A lot to do, whilst also just dodging single access or multi access.
And we've got ace tops down, so the money is going to start to flow in now. So all in all, things are looking pretty good for Robin.
Yeah, I mean, misstep with, unfortunately, now not having so many populations to trash, but this is going to get Robin the econ that she needs for the next few turns just to get herself rolling. I think this is looking very, very strong.
And I can see a Muse enhancer. There is absolutely every possibility that Robin just starts attacking R&D from multiple different angles, getting those Akiko Nisei triggers over and over again. And we see a Vitruvius score.
Just no counter. I think now. I think that we haven't seen that.
I mean, we don't need more recursion.
I mean, like Rotage might disagree.
We've had some recursion as a treat. We don't need recursion as a main course as well.
Also, shout out to Grun DMC in chat. I really hope you're feeling better. I know Grun DMC was meant to be coming to UK Nats and unfortunately taken unwell. So glad that you could still be watching in spirit. And yeah, we definitely wish you all the best and hope you feel much better soon. I think that Rotage just recurred a hedge fund here.
Just a bit of cash.
Yeah, which makes sense. He's not got a stack of cash, but it's kind of okay. The reason I was going to say it's interesting that he didn't pull back a Rashida because then he could jam it on top of a Tranquil Grid, but it looks like he has another Rashida in hand.
The boring but pragmatic plan.
Yeah,
I mean, Dave is very sensible. Like he's a very sensible player. He does the sensible plays. His decks might not be sensible, but he's sensible.
And his choice of teammates is incredibly unsensible, but we can talk about that another time. So we've got an environmental testing coming down on the runner side here. One counter on there that came from the installed Simul chip. It's not going to take long for that to pop off and give 9 credits, which is a big swing, which often feels like it comes from nowhere.
And in a game like this, that 9 credits can be the thing that's your economy for the game. Like you've got your ace off ticking on in the background, give you 3 a pop. The Fizarum goes on HQ.
Okay, so now I'm really confused. I'm guessing that Fizarum had to be in hand.
Yes.
When the SMC pop happened.
Yes, because otherwise you go get that.
Yeah, I didn't see it in there, but that is really unfortunate, and also why you should be playing Arasada. But yeah, that would have been the exact way through.
I've got views. You're going to have to trash something because you don't have the memory for this.
Hopefully that's been noticed.
You need to trash something for memory.
I'm not sure if it has, and I can't remember what we're meant to do in this situation now. I think we're meant to leave it.
I think we're meant to leave it. Okay.
That is unfortunate. This is like an easy thing to miss because the Coalescence is hosted on top of the Muse. The really unfortunate thing is that you can't even install the Muse and then install the Coalescence and then lose it because of the way that hosting works. We'll see if this is caught. Hopefully it is. So right now, I think we're back to Rotage's turn. Oh, we've seen him jam something. Sorry, in the remote. That I possibly missed that because there was definitely only 1 card in there a second ago.
Yeah, no, it's a jam in the remote. We think that might be a Rashida.
Well, I've actually just seen another Rashida in Dave's hand. So
okay. Maybe he's jamming agendas. Maybe he's just conscious of the fact that Runner is on 4 points.
Yeah.
And they're Akiko Nisei. They're going to be targeting R&D. They're going to be going nuts on him.
Okay, we've just seen a double advance in the server.
Ooh.
So this is either telling of an Ikawa, but I also think that this might be the off-world that we saw in the hand. And he's looking for next turn to score out and jam the Rashida. Because this remote looks somewhat safe right now. We have a single propeller on board, which can't really get through anything other than an ablative barrier, that we'd be expecting to see in this deck. We don't have sort of access to move that Salem around that we can see, but we're not just going to ignore the remote here. We are going to go archives, and we're going to see some number of cards. We're going to see an extra 1 from the Eru. We're going to see an extra 1 from the Pretty Mary, so we're going to see a minimum 3. And then depending on the side game, we're going to see possibly an extra, a fourth. Could just be the game. Robin has a click left, I believe.
Yep. Side game, same. Oh, that's rough. Both paying the one into that. So just Dave doing the race. So we're seeing
So
3,
here, no, I think we should be seeing 4.
2,
This was extra from
3,
Iri. This is extra from Mary. This is extra from
4.
Akiko.
Clean. Okay. The question is. Cup sync. Okay.
Robin choosing to cut the last card. Can't obviously go back and choose to cut a different one. Possibly just going to swing HQ here, but that doesn't seem correct last click. So.
Okay. So Dave's going to presumably score this out. Scoring a.
No, it was an Ikawa. Okay, so of course. Well, I was going to say the off-world from hand that got stolen.
It did.
So that is no longer in hand.
Okay, so I'm not seeing any other agendas. So what's happening now is both the runner and the corp are laser targeting R&D and being like, give me the agendas. I want them.
The good thing for Rotage here is that he knows that the next 3 cards of R&D are safe.
But
no, he doesn't actually know the next 2 cards are safe because Robin cupped.
Yes. So you know the next 2 into a safe, but the thing is, you do get this sometimes as a corp where it's like, well, yeah, I know my next few cards are safe, but I need agendas. I'm in drought at the midst. So you actually want to get a shuffle through as quickly as possible, and make them unsafe, so you could potentially draw them as quickly as possible.
I mean, I think the Rashida in hand is going to be Dave's way of pulling through any lock which Robin creates, which I think can just about get through the lock, but he'll need to be kind of lucky here with there being an agenda exactly 4 cards down and him getting the side game right.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's tense. I mean, like
it shouldn't have been ice comes down on archives next turn though. So I think Robin will have to deal with that in some manner or form.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going on to HQ here by the looks of things.
We've trashed the population. We are pretty sure that HQ is clean.
HQ's clean. See an MIC, Bran, and Greasy Palms.
Okay, so there's plenty of options here for Rotage to ice archives and to ice it pretty good. I think the MIC is the best option here because Bran still does allow the click through, which.
Well, the click through doesn't.
You just can't steal an Ikora if you.
Yeah, and given the runner's only on 4 points, the biggest threat is an Ikora. They're only on game point technically if they get one of the 2 remaining 5/3s.
Yeah, and you couldn't actually let that first sub fire because then you're gonna just get another piece of ice there. Although, okay, so here's the other thing.
Rotage
on 6.
so
both of those pieces of ice that we've seen cost 6.
Yeah, and on top of that, Rotage also has to defend this remote. So actually, the corp may have to take a bit of time to get some money going here.
It's very true. Okay, so any install here is obviously going to give Rotage a bit from the Trank grid. I think that's what we're seeing here. We're going to assume that's the Rashida.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can push without it. But the runner can just challenge. Oh, hedge fund help it out.
The hedge fund, the sensibly brought back to hand hedge fund,
the potential hedge fund.
Yeah. And then we've also got grease in the palm to install whatever ice this goes down. So I think this is going to be. Did we not use it?
Did we not grease them palms?
I don't think we greased the palm here. And I'm really interested in why.
Oh well.
Okay, I have a theory actually.
Oh.
So my theory is that if Rotage keeps the grease in the palm in hand, if Robin ever keeps the tag,
yes, because Greasy Palms has the additional, yes,
then he opens up additional scoring patterns because he's on Vitruvius.
Yeah, so like fast advance it out. Yes,
maybe he's playing 4D chess here.
He's playing this market because he's aware that he doesn't need the money right this second. He needs to be able to defend archives and he needs to be able to defend.
Probably he's about 9 credits,
which he's got. He's got 12. So he's good to go. And all the servers are locked down now, so no easy targets. Runner's pretty flush. Run us on 16 credits at the minimum.
No programs of any type of board though here. No, no.
Optional, minor details.
Like we can get into HQ, but we're pretty sure that HQ is safe.
HQ's clean. I'm pretty sure. Robin's probably got that read as well because yeah. In this position, the corp is absolutely going to be the second they draw a agenda into the remote. Off you go.
Here's an interesting line. Robin has in hand a DJ Fenris.
Okay.
If I was Robin in this situation, I would be doing DJ Quetzal.
DJ Quetzal! Oh my god,
right
that would be
now,
so good.
You're not going to get the additional card off Eru, but you're still going to see potentially 3 off the top of R&D, and you don't have any programs, so that first Hagen sub does jack all.
And on top of that, if so Robin doesn't know what the Aiten Archives is, obviously, but the Aiten Archives was also a Hagen, for example.
Yeah.
For example, then you have the 2 angles of attack. So I think it might be right, Wu. I think a DJ Quetzal, the lesser spotted DJ Quetzal, is absolutely a solid play here.
We're gonna see if this line's taken, because the other thing is that Robin can get into HQ, so does have like DJ Steve value if she wants to go DJ Steve, run HQ, get something back like a symbol chip's not actually going to help here though. So
No.
it would have to be something like an SMC itself.
But I think you've only got. I think they've only got 1 SMC. Okay, so going into HQ, and just
seeing the brand.
Okay, just poking.
DJ Quetzal would also allow you to click through brand and still have a click left. I'm just saying. I'm
on the DJ Quetzal hype train. Okay, we're just going to keep poking HQ.
Yeah.
I think that might be bit of a suboptimal move, but we'll see. Okay, Rashida coming down.
We've got Rashida. Possibly Robin just wondering if that was the win and just looking for their only lines to get through, and not noticing the DJ Quetzal possibility. I'll stop talking about Quetzal now. I'm a big Quetzal fan. Okay, so the chance now is that Rotage obviously has drawn more than 1 agenda. It looks like we've drawn no agendas because we are drawing with red level.
That is. So the problem is, every time the Rotage draws and it isn't an agenda, that makes that Akiko Nisa, when it does drop, even more dangerous.
Absolutely.
Because the Quetzal, the DJ Quetzal is there.
Yeah.
She's spinning up the decks.
So if we don't have something to jam here, then I would assume that we see a bit of turtling up going on. Possibly a second piece of ice on R&D, or maybe even a second piece of ice on Archives. We're seeing Sudden Commandment.
And we got a reader.
So that's going to draw another 2 cards, and then allow an event to be played. This could be another reason.
I think this is mostly for the draw, though.
Yeah. I think we saw 2 voids in hand. Kind of interestingly, there's 2 voids.
2.
Really interestingly, I think if you put a void on Archives, it would stop the Eru. And Eru is once a turn.
Okay, we're seeing a greasy palm.
That could well be a void going into the server just to get that trank value.
Yep.
We're going to see if
Rotage
maybe
draw a card off the trank, because that is an option.
It is an option, but
and if
that would leave a hell of a lot of cards in hand.
But he needs the agenda. He needs to close. So it's very possible that he then decides.
I think we've just taken the money. I think it looked like Rotage took.
Okay.
We are going. Okay, so that looks like void on R&D, which
is a line.
Is a line, and also means that Rotage feels a lot more safe with his ice on Archives here, which we kind of assume is maybe that MIC.
Yeah, which it's not a reasonable line, because it lets you slow the runner down. It's expensive to break, because I believe the shaper answer to MIC is Unity.
Probably. There's a chance it's on Euler. We've been seeing quite a bit of Euler recently, and in Aesop's builds, it's criminally efficient at sometimes. And when you're kind of potentially running things a lot, I would imagine Unity is probably the better choice for Akiko because you're not kind of doing turns where you're going to run all 3 centrals for a deep dive type
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Interestingly, the void on R&D is going to shut off the DJ Kettle line. That is a once per turn clause.
Well, we kind of, yeah. It depends on whether you can because I believe Dave also put a void in the remote.
Yes,
And void is unique. So
true. So if you can force both to be rezzed, I think the remote looks super. I don't think
I think the remote is
anything getting in there. Okay, we might be. I think I saw a trick shot in hand here. So we
I
there
think
might
that's
be.
yep.
Yeah, we're going to
That's a
trash
cycle. Yep.
this. We're going to have to get
Get
back
the
that
SMC.
repeller. I think.
Well, you can get back to the propeller. We can. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I feel like you need to. Now,
No,
not the SMC. SMC. We're doing this the efficient way, the clean way.
I assume then we're getting a more permanent break from propeller.
Yes.
Robin reading the fact that she can like with propeller with Hagen at the strength it is currently, she can only actually use it once to get in, which is actually pretty inefficient.
It may be all Robin needs. Given how much Dave's been digging and not finding,
Absolutely,
it's very possible. I mean, R&D is stacked.
We've got a pressure spike that is at threat, so this is actually fairly efficient right now. We're gonna get through this Hagen for 4 credits a run. In fact, only 3. You do not have to break that first subroutine.
No, you don't.
There are
not
no
anymore.
programs which aren't icebreakers on board.
That is that's not very expensive though. 3 credits a pop is. I mean, it's
No, that I'm happy paying 3 credits to get through a piece of ice.
if it wins you the game. But unfortunately, I have a sneaking suspicion what's going to happen here is Rotage is going to flip over that void in a second.
I think he absolutely has to. The big question there is whether Robin then wants to chance the run on the remote, which is probably not wise, as it's unlikely that they are 3 barriers all in a nice little row for her.
Yeah. Plus, one of them is definitely going to be. Yeah, one of them is a draft.
I don't think she knows that.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
We're seeing the void res.
Mm.
I'm sure Robin was just hoping that was a Managarm that would have been clickable.
2 and 2, and then that's the end of the run. So
Rotage absolutely happy to throw stuff out here. We know that there's nothing particularly valuable. Do we see the push here?
Over to the remote potentially, or
I mean, if you hit a gatekeeper hitter, it's game over because Rotage will draw into exactly what he needs.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just letting you go. Okay, that's probably the smart play.
I feel like that's correct. Okay. Well, this game just flips back and forward like
it's
anyone's business.
Yeah, because typically in PD, whoever's going to win is pretty determined. Occasionally, the runner can just sneak out a win out of nowhere. But like by kind of turns 3 or 4, you kind of have a pretty good idea of who's going to close it.
I mean,
but this one's gone back and forth.
It's generally just whoever steals or scores the luminal, right? I think that's.
I mean, that's generally the watermark. Yeah.
Okay, we're seeing a creative, so we have more money. I think what Robin really wants here is card draw.
Yeah, 100%.
We'd love a nuker or a diesel.
Okay. Rotage just drawing really aggressively.
Robin probably just happy to not see advanced.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the seamless yet, right?
We haven't. Who needs seamless?
just scoring out like Jackson intended.
Yeah.
I
mean, PD doesn't say on it you must play 3 seamless. I have seen PDs that play biotics instead of seamless. It's not good, but yeah.
I was jamming Audacity PD for quite a while.
Audacity PD, I like that.
I was unfortunately it was just before Freedom got really big in a previous meta, and like playing Audacity into Freedom decks is not fun.
Yeah.
So we saw Rotage put an ice on Archives and then decide against it. So let's. I think that's still the play, is making sure that Archives is safe, because as long as Rotage can draw the agenda, I think he can jam it in what seems to be pretty safe remote.
Oh yeah, no, the runner's not getting in destroyed. It's a Skull Void remote. They're just not getting in. So the danger here is not the remote. The danger is 100% on an R&D at this point. And just a little side note, in the background, you can see the mascots of the players. We've got the Rotages don't run duck on the left for when you have played Peace in Our Time.
Nice.
To remind you not to run.
Absolutely.
And get a game loss. And we have presumably a always be running Eevee.
Very true. Either that or it's just Lap sitting at the back there. Lap's avatar is almost always an Eevee on everything that I've seen them on. So
I mean, Eevee's very cute. So
very cute.
So
incredibly adaptable. Okay, can we see a second piece of ice on R&D? Apparently that Void not feeling safe enough, which is potentially true. I mean, like, if Robin was able to run 3 times, which technically has the credits for,
yeah,
kind of force a lot of money and a lot of cards out of Rotage. Probably better just to res a second piece of ice.
Okay, what are we discussing? I'm having a thought.
Oh, okay. So we're working out whether the Void will stop the Eru.
It won't.
Which it won't. But we're calling a judge to check on that, which is very wise. Always call a judge, people.
Yep.
If you are unsure, call a judge. But yes, it's like the good old where the hell do I put the Chrysium to stop the sneak door against Gabe type.
Archive.
Is it though? Okay.
Well, because it has an if success. It's successful. But you know, was it different for Omar? I don't know. I genuinely I lost the ability to work out where I was meant to put Chrysiums and then just stopped putting them in my deck. Okay.
And now it started again because suddenly a pretty good card.
Okay, well you can. Chrysiums is going.
Yeah. I'm hoping that we get something somewhat similar to that because I think it's a cool ability. Right, we're going to see.
Okay, it's just a drafter.
That is really interesting because that does not end the run.
Yes, it does not.
We've seen Robin run through a drafter before, and that wasn't great for her, but she got agendas from that.
Wow, okay, we thought that was an MIC.
Yeah, I really think I would have wanted.
Dave's wishing that's an MIC.
Wanted the end the run here.
Sudden command coming back, but. At 15 credits, Dave's very much wishing that's an MIC, and he was going to ice archive.
Yeah.
He ummed and on, and then decided not to.
And we're going to see at least 3 cards, maybe 4 cards.
Depending on the side game. Oh.
Okay, we get
Managarm.
So we get a Managarm here. I don't know what click this is.
I think this is click.
I think this is click 2.
Yeah.
I think there's just enough here. Now, so interestingly, if Robin clicks through this Managarm,
can't take the Akiko,
but does have enough money here. 5, we'll just pay 5 here.
Oh,
we'll still have 2.
I think that's correct. I think that's the correct play.
Still has 2, and also still has 2 for side game shenanigans. So can pay whatever she wants.
So this is like, so it's a one-time deal, but you're doing your arrow. You're doing a little side game.
Dave's already is.
Okay, so Dave wants same, Robin wants different.
I think that was different. I think that was 2 to 1. I think that was 2 to 1.
Okay, well, we'll see. Okay, here we go.
I think Rotage bid
thin deck.
There's a seamless. We've seen the seamless, right? That's like a brand. That's in Vitruvius.
And
the win!
World! Oh!
Absolutely wild. What a swingy game.
Nisei doing the thing. Oh, that was rough. That was rough because there was a window there. Dave had a window.
Dave had done. Oh, and he has the Chrysium. He has the Chrysium, I think, in hand.
Oh, no.
Or maybe even in the bin. So potentially here, I think he might be working out that if he
put the Chrysium on the
installed the Chrysium instead of the Managarm.
That's it. Oh, no.
Oh, the classic head in hands moment where you realise you had the line and you didn't play the line.
I mean,
maybe this was also his reason for the drafter. Because if you have access to Chrysium, then the drafter does kind of end the run for the for the things. Like that is kind of wild. Really, really interesting. What a game! Wow. Well, we've had quite the start there. That was
a back and forth game. Like as I was saying, by turn 3 normally with a PD game, you know roughly where it's going. This one, back and forth all day.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a case of everyone wants to find the agendas.
Yeah.
Who's going to find them first? Right, we didn't really get time earlier to talk about